So I'm gonna customize this jean jacket. It's gonna be Black Panther themed. So I'm just basically doing my measurements to see how big each image I want to be and where I want to place the images on the jacket. So I'm just gonna do my thing and just be recording while I get it done. So what I'm doing here is preparing the jacket. I bought this measuring tape from Amazon a while ago. I think it's like a body measuring tape, but I like it better than my ruler because it's more flexible. So what I usually do is whatever area on, for example, on this jacket I want to use, I go ahead and measure it. That way when I go ahead and make my images on the app, I make sure they're the right sizes so that it could fit perfectly how I want it to fit. So that's basically what I'm doing, just measuring all the areas. I will be placing 3 images on this jacket, plus his name, but you'll see that later. Okay, so here's just a video recording of my phone, just showing you guys what it looks like on the app. So these are the 3 images that I'm putting on the jacket. I'll get more into detail with like what apps I use and all that in another video. But right here, I'm just basically moving the images around so that they could fit on basically on one mat so that I can save as much vinyl as possible. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here, just playing around with it and getting ready to basically have it cut out on my machine so that I can put it on the jacket. Before doing the final step of having it cut out, I'm making sure that I mirror the image so that it won't be backwards on the jacket. So here I am just basically picking out what mat I'm going to use and getting ready to put the vinyl on the mat. The images that I just showed you guys are black. I'm just going to stick with one color, so I'm using black for those images. So I'm going to go ahead and put the vinyl on the mat and feed it into the machine and let it do its work. So this is what it looks like after it's been cut on the mat. You can't really see it, but you'll be able to see it a lot better once we weed the vinyl out, which you'll see what I mean in just a minute. I found a trick that if you pull the mat from the vinyl, then the vinyl won't roll up like it just did. But I always forget and just pull it off any type of way. But either way is fine, it'll still come out the right way. So I pulled out my scissors because I'm about to cut around the image on the vinyl. Vinyl is really expensive, so I try and save all the vinyl that I could. So basically I just cut around the images and save the scraps of vinyl for different projects. Call me cheap, but it works. So this is me basically just repeating the process that I just showed you guys. On the mat that I showed you with the Black Panther images, it was 3 total. 2 ended up going on the first mat, and then there was 1 left over on the second mat. Sometimes it happens, it just depends on the sizes of the images. So I'm just doing that last image right now. I'm gonna just go ahead and fast forward through all this so you guys don't have to sit through this again. So now that all of my images are cut, I'm going to go on to the next step, which is called the weeding process. It's basically when you weed off the extra vinyl that you don't need before applying it to the fabric that you're going to be ironing on. So in just a minute, I'll show you guys the weeding tool that is perfect for the weeding process. So this is the weeding tool that I was talking about. I'm going to show you exactly how it's to be used to get all the extra vinyl out that you don't need. Once this process is done, you'll be able to see the images a lot better. So I have officially started the weeding process. And I'm just gonna warn you, this process is really, it can be very irritating because you have to be careful. Even though I wasn't being careful, I was kind of just ripping the vinyl out, but it's because I'm used to it. But if you don't be careful, you will rip your image. So I wouldn't recommend going this fast or ripping it how I was ripping it. I will be honest, and I'm not trying to discourage anyone who's watching this video, but this part, the weeding process, can be very, very frustrating because I feel like the smaller the image or the more detailed the image, the more frustrating the weeding process will be. As you can see with this one, it's like really tiny details that I need to weed out. And even though the tool works really good, it's kind of hard to get in those tight spaces. Now, if this picture was bigger, it would be much easier to weed through. But because it's a smaller picture and the details are so little, you have to get every single one of those details if you want the picture to really show how it's supposed to show. So the weeding process can be a complete headache, but I mean, it's worth it in the end. But I will say you have to have a lot of patience, and this is when you realize if you have a passion for this or not. Because think about it, when you're making big orders, you have to do this. Like if I was making this type of jacket for a few kids, I would have to go through this process over and over and over again. So it definitely takes patience, but just focus and you could get it done. Maybe listen to some music to get through this part because it's not all that fun. So here I'm just double checking, making sure that I weeded out all the vinyl that needed to be weeded out of this picture. You definitely don't want to leave any vinyl on that's not supposed to be on. So now all three of my images are officially weeded out, and now I can start the iron-on process. I like to move my images around to see how I want them to look or how it will look in certain places. So usually before I put the heat to them, I just move them around and see what areas look best, and then I go ahead and iron them on. Okay, so here you're going to see me using my easy press, which gets really hot. So it doesn't take long. I think the timer is at 30 seconds, and then I basically just sit it on there for the 30 seconds. But you're going to also see me use my mini iron. I don't have to use it, but with the jean jacket, I just want to go over it because it's more of a thicker material. So I'm just using the mini iron too. I can use really just the easy press. It gets really hot, but I'm just making sure that the vinyl really sticks to the jacket. This step right here is optional, but it's something that I always do when I'm doing an iron-on project. I basically take a piece of parchment paper and put it over the vinyl and apply heat to it. This just secures the vinyl on the fabric even more. So I just like to do that, so you know, after a wash or after wearing it 1 or 2 times, the letters aren't sticking out. So this is just my way of securing the vinyl even more. I don't know if I mentioned this already, but this jacket is for Tayshawn, and so I'm just gonna personalize it more by adding his name to it. I decided to put his name in red so that it could stand out. And as you can see, the other images for Black Panther is in all black. I'm also going to add the sleeves. I'm going to put Wakanda Forever on the sleeves. And so that'll be in black too. The only thing that I wanted to be a different color would be his name. So here you see me just making sure that it's looking right before I add the heat. So I'm going to go ahead and start the sleeves. Like I said, one sleeve will say Wakanda and the other sleeve will say Forever. So for the remainder of the video, I'm just going to, fast forward it so the video don't be too long. But as you can see, I'm just basically fixing the sleeve so that I can lay the letters down how I want. I'm just going to fix them exactly how I want before I apply the heat, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply the heat and do the same thing on the other side. And like I said, I'll fast forward through the video so the video won't be super long, and then you guys will see the finished product. And this is the final product. This is the jacket from the back. So it looks backwards on the sleeves. It looks like it says Forever Wakanda, but really when he's wearing it, you would read it Wakanda Forever. But yeah, I like how it came out, and so does he.